only place that the baby will be safe.
There is no baby.
Yes, there is. It's just not yours.
Fatima Hassan is the hope of the colony house. Ever since the first time we're introduced to her, let's be honest, we all felt like she was one of the most positive characters in the series. Back in Season 1, her words to Julie about how she remains positive in such a nightmarish world definitely struck a chord in the hearts of the viewers. That's why her whole pregnancy debacle has all of us concerned for her well-being. Season 3 doesn't shy away from killing off major characters. So will this pregnancy end up being the thing that kills off Fatima? The baby she has in her isn't hers, as was revealed. So who could it belong to? Who could it all mean? Well, that's what we'll be discussing in today's video. If you're curious, which I'm sure you are, I suggest you keep watching. Before we get into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The true mother of the baby. When Elgin said in the last episode that Fatima is in fact truly carrying a baby, but it is not hers, I think all of our jaws were on the floor. What could that even mean? Well, thankfully, we used our little gray cells and figured it out. The kimono lady has been guiding Elgin all this time. She brought him to the secret and creepy jail cell in the root cellar. She exposed Fatima's hiding spot to Elgin. So surely it must be her who the baby belongs to, given that she goes to such great lengths to target Fatima. Ever since she came out of the Polaroid picture that Elgin took of Fatima, I knew the kimono lady was after her. It makes complete sense, right? The baby forced Fatima to eat rotten vegetables and lick up blood from Nikki. Because of the baby, Fatima feels this extreme rage building up inside of her, and at times, it's almost like she's no longer her own person. The whole murdering of Tilly is definitely the baby's doing, and so were the blood and waste cravings. So now, you might wonder why the kimono lady chose Fatima to be the pregnant one, and why it didn't show up on the ultrasound. Well, as for the ultrasound, the most scientific explanation would be that the machine did not work very well, or well enough, in Fromville, as the town often interferes with modern technology. As for the kimono lady choosing Fatima to be the mother, I think the reason is quite simple. Since the kimono lady is an apparition, she can't physically bear a child in her womb, so she has to find somebody who can. Now we know that in Season 3, the monsters want to break Boyd. Boyd is a huge family man and extremely protective. After losing Abby, I believe that Boyd has become even more protective of Ellis, and by extension, over Fatima, his daughter-in-law. So targeting the optimistic and hopeful Fatima, who's now related to Boyd, would make perfect sense. If things do happen to Fatima, the colony house will lose its most optimistic member, and Boyd might just lose his son, which once again would definitely break him. So now that we know why Fatima was the best victim for this terrible thing, let's discuss another pressing matter. What does Fatima's pregnancy mean? We know by now that there is no way in hell that Fatima is carrying a normal baby. She's surely carrying something supernatural. While a demon baby sounds rather funny, I think what she carries is not quite a demon. I think right now, Fatima is carrying a creature, a replacement for Smiley, that is. We know that the town works on balance. One person dies, another person comes in. So the fact that Fatima's pregnancy news was first disclosed to us the same night that Boyd killed Smiley is no coincidence. We also know that the ghoulish kids were sacrificed by their loved ones to some entity. Surely it must be because the entity promised them something in return. I don't think the townspeople asked for wealth. I think they wished for something absolutely vain, such as youth or beauty, or maybe even immortality. That would explain why the creatures, who we assume are the old townsfolk turned into monsters, seem to be stuck in a particular way. It's like they're trapped in time and they no longer age. Perhaps it's not a boon that they were granted, rather a curse in disguise. It could very well be that the eldritch being that they sent their offerings to had only provided them lasting immortality in exchange for their humanity. While they would never be harmed by any physical means, such as weapons or the decay of old age, they would remain this way as twisted monsters, to exist to terrorize, sucking away at the hopes of the people that the town traps within. So, if someone cannot age, I doubt they can die. That's why it's extremely hard to kill those creatures. But what happens when one does get killed? I mean, Boyd killed one in the second season, so what then? Well, the salient laws of the town seem to imply that they would be replaced. Since there seems to be another supernatural way to put an end to these creatures, namely the bloodworms, could it be that the clauses of the wish granted upon them exclude certain magical fatalities? Or is it that the immortality is truly unconditional, and that the apparent death of a creature would soon be followed by them respawning? I'm inclined to think that the latter is what's happening. In that regard, I believe Fatima is carrying a creature in her womb. She does not yet know it, but it is a creature. Because again, the town works on balance. Since Fatima is an easy and frankly strategic victim to go after, the kimono lady, and by proxy the town, used Fatima to carry the creature so that it could replace Smiley. I think this is the first time a creature was killed in the history of the town. That's why the kimono lady personally chose Fatima, the daughter-in-law of the killer, as the scapegoat mother. The glimpse we got of the 9th episode showed that ever since Fatima was brought into the jail cell, her stomach has been swelling rapidly. So I think before this season is over, we'll definitely know what baby Fatima is carrying for good. Marvelous verdict. Whether it's a creature or a demon, there's no doubt that Fatima's life is in serious danger. I don't think Elgin would be able to give Fatima any proper care if this demon baby is born the normal way, and if the baby has to be birthed by killing the mother, then for sure Fatima's going to die. I'm genuinely curious to see what happens to Fatima once she gives birth. Does the creature she gives birth to end up attached to her? Does carrying a creature baby mean that Fatima too is part creature now? Will Fatima be alive in season 4? Let us know what you guys think the connection is between Fatima's baby and the creatures we see in the town, and we'll see you guys next time. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.